Right, well, um, welcome to episode 2 of Idle Thoughts. Oh, jeez, I don't even know what to talk about today. What's this? I've many treasures I enjoy in my off time. My horned helmet of invisibility. My ivory throne made from the bones and calciums of 1,000 titans. My grand obsidian hallways and galleries polished just so, carved to symmetric perfection. I'm in the mists of writing a romance novel, of all things, about Hades and Persephone. I don't know if it's just me or it's the way of things that creative people need a sort of rigidity to a schedule, to, even if they're not feeling creative, to at least go through the motion, to take a break, or to sharpen their craft. I have the problem of when the idea strikes, you, when the feeling hits, nothing gets in your way, and it is a beautiful thing to just let it happen, to do it. To see what comes of this grand endeavor. And yet, it doesn't matter how long that electricity lasts. It's not going to carry through the whole project. So at some point, you are going to have to finish it without that carrying force. At some point, you are to lift up this endeavor onto your shoulders and bring it forth. To do this thing on your own. I've gotten up to, I think, 8 chapters. I mean, chapter 1 got erased. It's going to suck to rewrite, but at some point I'm going to have to. And now it's been a week or two, and I've yet to pick up the pen once more. And even when it's done, it's going to be a huge endeavor to sit down and write and rewrite again this story. But that is the craft, isn't it? Of writing, of creation. Back in 7th grade, my art teacher once lamented that you children of this generation are always happy with the first thing you make. You never take the time to do it over and do it better. I wonder if people learn that. With the way our society and government is made, we are redoing a fiefdom, essentially. we are fearful of doing something other than capitalism. Man, I got the belches today. And yet, though we are fearful of anything other than capitalism, we will not take the time to experiment, to learn what we can do better, and to phase in those better elements to serve the whole. Now, I'm not one for communism. I'm not one for socialism. I'm also not one for capitalism as it is today. But my problem with capitalism is management and untruthfulness of it all. So I'm watching The Witcher, and I think it's either episode 6 or 7 on season 1, and they talk about how, religious zeal, people will do anything if they believe in a higher power, whether that's patriotism, or religion, or whatever, something bigger than themselves. It allows them to do the most atrocious things. And then we come to the important part, at least the reason why I bring it up, and that is, this water tastes like piss. And then they go on to say, well, to take everything away from everybody and then give everyone the same thing. Well, that sounds like socialism. Then they alright. So I suppose in their way, they're arguing that if you take everything from everybody and then average it all out, it's going to be shit for everybody. The water's going to taste like piss, and the bread's going to be moldy. And that's all anyone can ever eat. Right. Because the efforts of a few cannot benefit the whole. Because I'm sure that if some people took the time to make the water better, to make the bread better, to make resources plentiful and available to all in a reasonable, sectioned out manner, it would work. We've seen this with Genghis Khan. Whenever he'd ransack a village, everyone would gather all the treasure into a big pot. No one would be able to take anything for themselves. And then he would partial things out, and it would end up and if someone else was going to describe this, they would say the words somehow. But it would end up being more for every soldier than it would be if they were allowed to ransack for themselves. I find this example in history funny. Now, it's not one-to-one proof, but it goes against the propaganda. It goes against the narrative. socialism would not work on a grand scale. However, on the scale of a city hall per se, every city hall looking out for their own town, their own system, as opposed to looking to make a profit and shoot that up the ladder, like capitalism. They do their best to take care of their own. And thus we get to another problem, where, if one politician permanently solves a problem, such as prostitution or drugs, what's the next guy going to run for? Who's going to vote for a dude who has no problems to solve? If you solve the problem, they won't need you anymore. And that is what capitalism has become. Here, you have a problem. I'll solve that for you for $1. But you have to keep coming back. There is no one-stop shop. And if you want to solve the problem, you must do it on your own. Everything else is a band-aid. And anyone who tells you otherwise is trying to sell you something, princess. Extra points for people who know that reference. You're good people. God, what was the original thing I was talking about? Idle thoughts. That's what this is about. So an answer to said problem is we keep capitalism. We morph it along with socialism as we do, such as our milk is subsidized, because otherwise milk would be $10 a gallon. The government subsidizes milk so it is affordable, because milk is a staple. It keeps the rest of the products going. Yeah, I'm going to have to work on the speech impediment thing. So think about it. We give money via taxes for the roads, police force, for fire department, so we can have hospitals, even if that's completely a capitalist system and we are falling behind in the world, medically speaking. Though I understand that our medical education is one of the best in the world. Someone explain that to me. I don't. Shit. It's terrible. This whole scenario is terrible. Why must things be so? I'm still navigating the philosophical fields of Republicans. I don't quite understand this. Get over it. Suck it up. It's not my problem. It works for bullies, people who lack emotional connection, or, and this is perhaps the one aspect I truly appreciate, are those that can compartmentalize their emotions. This is this, and this is this, and I will keep them separated. It tickles me to eternity that some of the most successful drug dealers I have ever met, the murderers and assassins of the world, they too compartmentalize. He was weak. He deserved to die. Because he couldn't defend himself. And I know at this point, those sorts of people won't understand me, but that's why I have to breach the gap to figure it out, to learn a language that they have to communicate, because, well, you know, work is work, and it stays work. And just because my job is to give them a product that will kill and destroy their lives and make them so desperate they will do anything to bring me more money so they can get more of my product. Well, if that ain't capitalism. Isn't that messed up? That's really messed up, but that's what happens. You know, it's what is wrong with you people? I'm not sure how long I should make these videos go. I hope you're having as much fun as I am. Right, so, we have these people that think being strong is all there is to life. All you need to succeed. You don't like it? Get back up and get back at it, boy! Right. But everyone fills a different niche. Just because I am not 6 foot doesn't mean I can't take down a guy who's 6 foot. In a sword fight. In a fist fight, it's probably much different, but in a sword fight, you're mine. As it goes, though, I find that people who desire more strength already have it. And people who have intelligence value and want more intelligence because they already have it. They want to become more of themselves. It's a lack of contentment with themselves, with who they are and where they are. And I can wax poetic about this all day, but that doesn't answer anything. Perhaps someday this vlog might reach enough people where I could get answers. I could get an idea of what really is Because at the end of the day, capitalism, socialism, communism, or any ism, orgasm, or otherwise, they are all destroyed by human nature. Well, why don't we design a system around human nature then? Am I nuts? Is something wrong with me, the world? Well, obviously something's wrong, else we wouldn't have something to talk about. It's a funny thing, it really is. Anyway, I should probably think of an outro for this show. So why do I ask these questions? Why am I sharing my idle thoughts with you? Why does any of this matter at the end of the day? And my answer to you, my 2 words, simply is because I am. Thanks for watching.